Hello. Hello. It looked like we were lagging a little bit there. I've got some issues. There we go. That feels right. Okay, I was like, why am I so close to the ground? Anyway, hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're all doing fantastic tonight. So tonight we're going to go over a little bit of an analogy and this is crucial. So right off the bat, I don't say this often, but I highly recommend that you sit through this stream because this is crucial. There is a big misunderstanding about this advice, right? There's a big misunderstanding about acceptance. The short of it is people are allowing themselves to get away with habits like worry and rumination, and then they are claiming that they are accepting the worry and rumination. Worry, rumination, same thing. We don't accept the bad habits. We don't accept those. We work on the bad habits. So if you're one of those people who kind of feel like, man, I've been at this for a while and I'm not seeing any sort of change or whatever, maybe this is a stream for you, because there is a pretty big chance that you are accepting your bad habits. We don't accept bad habits. We work on bad habits. So tonight I've kind of played around with the idea of this analogy that really puts into perspective what your job is with recovery, because you do have a job here, right? And you need to do that job. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, you guys. It's going to be a good one, man. What is up, everybody? Well, Edward first in chat. Wonder Bro, what's up? Sanchez, may the fourth be with you. Absolutely, dude. Ava, what's up? Luis, what's up, man? Gamer, what's up? Lick, what's up, guys? Welcome. Welcome, beautiful people. Go ahead and start throwing those likes. I'd really appreciate it. This is going to be a good one tonight. Again, we've got an analogy to talk about tonight. Your hand in the cookie jar. Catching yourself with your hand in the cookie jar. I really hope this is not one of those streams that people overlook, because this is going to be vital. This is going to be very important. But how's everybody doing tonight, man? We're going to give it a few minutes, let some people get in here, want to watch us live, and then we'll go ahead and crank this one out. Let's see. All right. How you doing tonight, Lick? Gamer, what's up, guys? Luis, what's up? Welcome. Give it a few minutes here, then we'll get started. I was a little freaked out because before I started the stream, it was like, you can't start the stream. There's a problem on it with OBS, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know, some sort of error or something. It was actually that I just had the title of the stream too long. What the heck? No Discord notification? In fact, there was 2 Discord notifications. Not only was there 1, but there was 2. There was 2. Maybe even 3. I'm not sure. So you gotta get on the ball, Steph. Really, you just, you're dropping the ball, and eventually you gotta get on that ball. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get on that ball eventually. What's up, brother? What's up, Elliot? Sanchez, love the new setup. What a bro, appreciate it, dude. Hey, you know where this sign came from, right? Who's ready to pwn their anxiety? What's up, David? Good to see you back. Where'd our music go? There were not. Steph's gonna shit a brick when she checks support chat and realizes that there's 2 notifications. Check the support chat, Steph. Almost bought a Star Wars Lego set I was never going to build, but passed up. I don't know if I'd have the patience for that, to be honest. I don't know if I'd have the patience for that, to be honest. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get this one started. Let's see. I'm going to send out one more notification. There we go. You did the everyone we're going live thing, but it always supposed to link. There was no link. Come on, y'all. I know it's almost like if I send the notification that says everyone we're going live, it's almost like you would have to come to this YouTube channel to catch it. It's ridiculous, right? Next time I'll include the link. I love messing with you guys. What's up, Lauren? All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into this one. So let's get this music out of here. So again, there is this huge belief going around, and when I say this huge belief going around, I'm saying that if you do not give full attention tonight, there is probably a strong possibility that you'll miss it because you're too busy talking about something else, and you will continue to have this false belief, and it'll continue to keep you from recovery. That's how crucial what we're about to talk about is, right? Like if you miss this, it could be the difference maker, okay? So listen up. There is a huge belief that you are supposed to accept your rumination. That's false. Rumination is a bad habit. It's worry, and if you don't shut it down, you won't make the progress. So let me get into this analogy because this is the most simple way that I could figure out to kind of word this to make it make sense. You have to catch yourself with your hand in the cookie jar. Here's the thing, right? A lot of people are claiming acceptance, but what they're doing is they are accepting their bad habits and not working on them. You won't heal by accepting your bad habits. It won't happen. You won't do it. You won't heal by accepting your bad habits. You'll only heal by breaking your bad habits, right? So here's what happens. People learn about acceptance. They take in this word called accepting or acceptance, and they're like, yeah, that sounds great. And what they do is they continue to worry and ruminate, and they blame it on their mind. They say, yeah, that's just 24/7 intrusive thoughts, but I'm accepting it, right? I mean, it's not 24/7 intrusive thoughts. It's 24/7 worrying and rumination. And if you accept that you have 24/7 worry and rumination and you're not trying to break that, you're not going to heal, right? So you don't accept that you have 24/7 worry and rumination. That's not going to work. That's not going to cut it. Intrusive thoughts play a very small part in this, right? Now, I know that you can have a ton of intrusive thoughts, and I know they can be very intense, but all of the rumination that you attach to it and the worry that you attach to it, you don't accept that. You break that. Does everybody see what I'm getting at here? So I've had people that watch my videos and learn about this advice, and they're in it for years because they're just accepting their bad habits. And now they're like, acceptance isn't working and this stuff doesn't work. It's because you don't accept the bad habits, you break the bad habits, right? So since the beginning of the time, since this channel began, I have said that you have to catch yourself in worry or rumination and shut it down time and time and time again. People are missing that. They're not hearing that for some reason, right? So again, what happens? People say, I'm using acceptance, and what they're doing is they're accepting their bad habits. So they're ruminating 24/7. They're worrying 24/7, which is something that you can't get away with if you want to heal. So they do it 24/7, right? They do it 24/7, and then they say, I'm accepting it, right? You don't accept bad habits. You break bad habits. So you're not going to get where you want to be if you do 24/7 rumination and worry and you're not working on that, right? You're not going to get where you want to be. So let me get into the analogy. I want to get into the analogy of tonight's stream. And again, rumination applies to any topic. If you're constantly ruminating about recovery, it's not going to cut it. If you're constantly ruminating about all this different anxiety advice and you're not just simplifying it, using it, and executing it, not going to cut it, right? Rumination about any topic is not what we're going for. So let's get into the analogy tonight. Let's get into the analogy. Catching yourself with your hand in the cookie jar. That is essentially what you are doing, and you're probably going to have to do it about 1 trillion times a day. So let me give you an example of that. Let's say the stream goes off, right? Or let's say even before the stream goes off, you are worrying, do I understand what he's saying here? That your hand is in the cookie jar. Your hand is officially in the cookie jar. You are now worrying. That is the hand in the cookie jar. Oh, am I really understanding what's going on? You have put your hand in the cookie jar, and it's time to notice that and take it out. Right? That is breaking the habit of rumination. That is breaking the habit of worry. You catch yourself with your hand in the cookie jar, and it's going to be in that cookie jar probably 1 million, billion, trillion times a day at first, at least, right? And you're going to have to keep calling yourself out. That's how we work on rumination. If there's no self-control, no self-awareness, if you don't call yourself out when the hand is in the cookie jar, you are hopeless, right? And you're going to have to continue to practice that. Because again, people claim acceptance and they say, I'm accepting that I'm ruminating 24/7. I'm worried. We don't accept that. You don't accept that. You don't accept that, right? So Luis, my man, hey, appreciate you. The most fucked up part in the world, but it counts, dude. I love you. Thank you so much for the $10 tip. I'm going to go ahead and add that. You do not accept, right? Thank you so much for the tip tonight, Luis. Hopefully we get on a streak. Appreciate it. You do not accept constant worry and rumination. And again, worry and rumination is the same thing. So let's keep giving examples. I'm just going to spitball examples left and right here. Let's say the stream goes off, or even before the stream goes off, you catch yourself worrying, oh man, am I really going to get to recovery like this guy's talking about, like this guy's preaching about? Your hand is officially in the cookie jar. Your hand is officially in the cookie jar. And if you do not have the self-awareness to say, hey, there you go again, your hand's in the cookie jar, take it out. We're not doing that. Right? You catch it. How many times since the beginning of this channel I've said you catch the worry, right? And that's what I'm saying. You catch yourself with the hand in the cookie jar. Now we get into the topic where people are like, "Oh, I wonder if how does this apply to my intrusive thoughts? He tells me not to fight my intrusive thoughts. Isn't that fighting?" No, fighting is ruminating. Fighting is worry. Right? So when you get an intrusive thought, now let's say it is an intrusive thought and it just comes in really quick in the blink of an eye and it says, oh, you're going to go crazy. Okay, you'll accept that, but you don't stick the hand in the cookie jar over that. And if you do, you pull it right back out. You say, no, we're not going to do that. So the thought comes in and says, oh, you're going to go crazy. You stick your hand in the cookie jar and say, oh, no, we're not going to go crazy and blah, blah, blah. I read this and blah, 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 blah. Your hand's in the cookie jar. You got to pull it back out. Right? Now, let's say you get a feeling. The heart starts to rapidly beat. You get any sort of physical bodily anxiety symptom, right? And then that's fine. You accept that. But the moment your hand goes in the cookie jar, you start saying, oh, God, what does that mean? And blah, 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 blah. I wonder if that means this or that's going to your hand's in the cookie jar. You got to call yourself out and you got to take your hand out. And you got to hold yourself accountable and responsible for that and do that a lot, whether it's about a feeling, whether it's about a thought, whether it's just you randomly notice your hand's in the cookie jar and you're worrying about something. It doesn't matter what it is. Don't get into the specifics. That doesn't matter. You accept what thoughts come. You accept what the feelings come. But you never allow yourself to keep your hand in the cookie jar, right? So I know not everybody here, I'm not a parent. I know not everybody here is a parent, but you get what I'm saying, right? You get the analogy. If there is a bad behavior that you're trying to correct, you have to call it out when you see it. That means you're going to have to call yourself out when you see it over and over and over again, or else you're just going to keep your hand in the cookie jar. It's never going to go anywhere. You're going to keep your nervous system in this state. You're going to keep worrying. You're going to keep ruminating. You're not taking any accountability, any responsibility, and around and round we go, and there's never any progress that way, right? There's never any progress that way. So, like David in chat, requires a lot of self-awareness. Yes, it requires a lot of self-awareness. Don't attach labels. Fuck labels. It just requires you to call yourself out on your own bullshit. That's what it is, right? So we can dress it up, and I understand it's kind of cool to dress it up, and it's kind of cool to add all these fancy labels like blah, 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 mindfulness and meditation and blah, blah, blah. Like, that's cool. Yeah, real cool. But instead of doing that, let's just make it really simple, because here's the problem. Since the day you came out of the fucking womb, you've been a worrier. So let's drop the labels and let's just say it like this. Let's put it like this. Call yourself out on your fucking bullshit. Right? Does that ring a bell with everybody? So instead of, and I get it. It's cool. I like those terms. I use those terms myself sometimes when I talk to people. But forget all the terms for a second. Let's just be straight. Right? You're calling yourself out on your own bullshit. That's what you're doing. And you're doing it repeatedly, with effort and dedication. So yeah, I get the terms. I use the terms myself sometimes. They're cool and everything, but let's just be really straightforward. You're calling yourself out when you catch yourself with your hand in the cookie jar. That's what you're doing. We don't need any of the fancy terms. We don't need any of that, because here's the problem. Since the day you're born, you've been a worrier. So let's forget the terms and just try to make this as simple as possible, because we're not tackling the root problem here, because we've got too many terms. We've got too many labels. We've got too much of that, yada, yada, yada. Let's make it as straightforward as possible tonight. You are catching yourself with your hand in the cookie jar over and over and over again, and that's what you're doing, right? The moment you get a feeling, that's fine. Accept it. The moment you get a thought, that's fine. Accept it. The moment something happens in your life, you got a life situation going on, that's fine. Accept it. But the very moment, right? And it's okay if you're not perfect. It's okay if it takes a minute for this to, for you to get better at this. But the very moment anything That's life situations, that's symptoms, that's thoughts. The very moment that anything gets you to stick your hand in the cookie jar, which means you start worrying about it, you've got to shut it down. You don't accept that. Right? There's the misconception. People think you accept the worry habit. No, you're just going to stay where you are for a very long time, and then you're going to become one of those people that run around and acceptance doesn't work. That's what you're going to become if you accept the worry. You don't accept the worry habit. You accept the feeling, you accept the thought, you accept the life situation, but you don't accept the worry habit. You got to shut that shit down, right? And you got to do that repeatedly. Okay, you got to do that repeatedly. And you can even use that analogy, right? So next time you notice you're up in your head worrying about something, you say, wait a minute, you got your hand in the cookie jar. We're not doing that, right? You could even use that. You can even steal that. Make that your inner voice, whatever. It doesn't matter. Do what you want to do with that. But understand, you have got to repeatedly and with effort and dedication shut down that worry habit. That is not something you accept, right? You don't accept the worry habit. You break the worry habit. Right? So you accept the feeling, sure. You accept the thoughts, sure. But you don't accept when you're up in your head with a bunch of, and you're sitting there thinking, the worry. You don't accept that. We shut that down, right? Because that's the same concept as fighting with the feeling. You're up in your head trying to do something about it. That's the same as fighting with the thought. You're up in your head trying to do something about it. Some people say, well, isn't shutting the worry down fighting? No, being up in the head, going back and forth with the thoughts and the feelings, and that's fighting. That's the real fighting. And it's no wonder acceptance hasn't worked for you yet, because you're still fighting. You're still fighting. So it's no wonder it's been this long, and it's not working for you, because you've never used the advice. Right? That I'm going to get choked, because that cracks me up, and I'll tell you why it cracks me up, because that was me. That was me for such a very long time. I was like, acceptance sounds great, and I love the idea of it, and I'm doing it. No, I wasn't. I wasn't even close. I hadn't even really began. Right? Because I was allowing myself to worry and ruminate, same thing, 24/7 over every thought and feeling and life situation, right? And I was accepting that I was doing that. I thought I was accepting that I was doing that, which I guess is a great first step. But no, you don't accept the bad habits, you break the bad habits. Right? You don't accept the bad habits, you break the bad habits. So it's no wonder I got nowhere. Right? And that's really the importance behind this stream, guys. And that's why this topic, I'm sure you guys have watched me long enough to tell that I'm getting a little heated about this one. And I'll tell you why, though. I'll tell you why it's justified, because so many of you lovely people are not getting where you want to be, because you're claiming acceptance and you're not even close, because you're still worrying and ruminating 24/7. And that's what's so frustrating. It's not frustrating to me. I'm frustrated for you, because I've been there, and I know how frustrating it is to be like, damn, I've learned so much about this topic, and I feel like I'm doing so much. Why am I not getting where I want to be? I'm frustrated for you. And here, hopefully tonight, we break that, because now you realize that you don't accept worry. You don't accept rumination. You break worry. You break rumination. You don't accept it. And that's why people get in these ruts where they come on here and they say, how come this person in the chat and that person in the chat is feeling so much better and I'm not feeling better, and blah, 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 blah. Yes, it takes time for your brain to catch up, so we got to take that into consideration. But also, there may be a possibility that you are just accepting that you're ruminating. We don't accept that you're ruminating. We break the rumination, which means, again, brings me to the point of the stream, the analogy of the stream, which I'm hoping puts into perspective what your job is, catching yourself with your hand in the cookie jar. If you turn the corner and you've told a small child, no, we're not having any more cookies, they got their hand in the cookie jar, what do? You say, hey, don't do that. We're not doing that. Right? And then they take their hand out of the cookie jar. Now, that's a small child, and they're learning something new. So what's the chances that you're going to come back 10 seconds later, and as soon as you turn your back, they're going to stick their hand back down in the cookie jar? Pretty strong chances, right? Pretty strong chances that a small child's going to stick their hand right back into the cookie jar as soon as you turn your back. And guess what you're going to have to do as a parent who is trying to teach? You're going to have to turn back around and say, hey, no, we don't do that. We're not playing that game, right? This is how you have to treat your rumination. This is how you have to treat yourself when you realize that you're up in the head ruminating and worrying, because I'm telling you, you will not get where you want to be if you just accept that you ruminate. We have to break rumination. because that's not acceptance of anxiety. You're accepting a bad habit. The advice has never been accept your bad habits. The advice has been accept anxiety. We got to break the bad habits. We got to break the bad habits. So a lot of people just, and I feel for you. And again, that's why I get like a little bit worked up and heated on this particular topic, because I feel for you, because I was there. I know how frustrating it is to be like, damn, I've learned so much about this topic and it's just not working out. And that was me after I read Clear Weeks and researched acceptance and all this good stuff. And the problem was I wasn't even beginning to work on the rumination. I wasn't even trying to shut it down. Right? And again, that analogy hopefully makes this very clear what your objective is. You got to continue to catch yourself with your hand in the cookie jar. There is no such thing as trying to accept rumination and then thinking that you're going to get results because you've accepted that you ruminate. No, we got to shut the rumination down. The rumination's keeping you sick. So if you just accept that you're ruminating, and then you continue ruminating, but hey, I'm accepting it, you're not going to get anywhere. You're just not going to get anywhere, right? So it's a frustrating topic because it's just that one little detail that keeps so many people from their full potential. It's that one little detail that keeps so many people in that group of people who think, man, I've been at this so long, what's going on? That's the reason. And I'm telling you, if you just listen to the stream, listen to it again if you have to. It's that one little realization that is keeping so many people away from healing. Because until you start to work on breaking rumination, which again is catching yourself with your hand in the cookie jar, you're starting to worry, you catch it, you correct that behavior, you shut it down, you do it again, you do it again, you do it again, and you do it again. Until you make that one little correction, what happens is you go around claiming acceptance, and you've not even gotten started yet. You've not even gotten started yet, right? I mean, I guess technically it's a good start that you're taking in the advice. That's great. It's a good start that you're learning this stuff. Obviously, you got to learn it first before you can use it, right? I guess technically it's a good start, but you haven't truly gotten started on using the advice yet, right? If that's you, if you have just accepted that you ruminate and you're not trying to work on the rumination, then we really technically have not even gotten started on healing yet. And is that a depressing realization? I don't think so. I think that's the most liberating, amazing realization that you could ever make, because you know what that means? That means we can start. That's exciting. That means we can finally work on this thing. That's exciting. That means, hey, you weren't just, acceptance wasn't just failing you. You just hadn't gotten started yet, technically. Right? So I don't think that's a depressing realization. I think that is the best, most liberating realization that a person could ever make. And I hope this stream does that for somebody, because there's probably people that even after this stream are not going to be catching themselves with their hands in the cookie jar. They're just not going to do it. Whether they haven't woke up to it yet, whether they're not holding themselves accountable yet, there's going to be plenty of people that watch this stream goes off, they're going to put their hand right back down in the cookie jar, and they're going to do it all night long. Right? And that's just the reality of the situation. I know that. But then again, there might be that one person that sees this stream and says, hello. Okay, there we go. There might be that one person that sees this stream and says to themselves, wait a minute, I've been using acceptance, quote unquote acceptance, for the past 3 years, for the past 2 years, for the past 4 years. But after that stream tonight, I've realized that I've never even really been using acceptance. I'm not holding myself accountable for rumination, worry. That's just two terms that mean the same thing. It means you get up in your head, right? There might be that one person who watches this stream and says, I've been claiming acceptance for 3 years, and I've had my hand in the cookie jar every day since, and I've not corrected that one single time. I've not called myself out on that habit one single time. No wonder it's never been, quote unquote, working for me, right? No wonder it's never been working for me. And if that's all we get, is that one person who makes that realization tonight, perfect. That's all I need. But the reason I point that out, the reason I say to you guys, look, A lot of people are going to watch this stream, and what's going to happen is the stream's going to go off, and they're going to start sticking their hand down all the cookie jars, which means they're up in their head worried about this life situation, worried about that thought, worried about that feeling. They're not even trying to say, hey, you're doing it again. That can be your accepting inner voice. Hey, you're doing that again. No, we're not going to do that. There's going to be people who watch this stream, turn it off, and they're just going to have their hand down the cookie jar all night long. And that's unfortunate. That's sad. And I hope that they rewatch this stream. I hope that one day they wake up and they realize, wait a minute, I've not even really gotten started on acceptance. I've never even tried to work on my rumination. Since the beginning of this channel, I used to call it not following your intrusive thoughts. And what I told people back in the day 7 years ago was that, hey, when you get an intrusive thought or you get a feeling, you just say something to that thought like, nah, I'm not going to go there. It is what it is. I'm going to embrace these thoughts and feelings, but I'm not going to get involved in the worry. We're shutting down the worry. That's what I used to tell people back in the day. A fucking ad right now? Seriously? That's what I used to tell people back in the day, and that's still what I tell people. We call it not fighting mentally with your thoughts and feelings. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but if you keep your hand down the cookie jar, every thought leads to worry, every feeling leads to worry, every life situation leads to worry, and you're not calling yourself out on it, and you're not saying something to yourself like, hey, there you go again. No, we're not going to do that. Shut that down, acceptance. If you don't call yourself out on it, you're not going to get where you want to be. Right? So I hope this stream maybe opens some eyes, right? That is the goal of this stream. I hope you realize what your objective is now. And with that being said, man, I think that's everything. Very important topic. If you feel like you didn't quite understand this, I recommend you watch it back until you do understand it. Very important topic, and that is your work. That is your job. Of course, 2 keys, live your life, and catch yourself with your hand in the mental worry/rumination cookie jar, right? I'm going to give you one last example. You turn this stream off and you start to worry, will I ever get to that recovery? That's when you got to step back and you got to say, wait a minute. We're not going there. You got your hand in the cookie jar, right? There's your example. Apply that to any sort of worry. All right, you guys, I love you so much. Thank you for the support on tonight's stream. Thank you for watching. I'm trying not to hit this mic, but I need to scoot up a little bit. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for all the thumbs up, man. I really appreciate it. Luis, thank you so much for the $10 tip, dude. Says late night stream always gets 10 for me, specifically after a good day of applying the 2 keys. Progress, little by little. Thank you for the $10 tip, Luis. I appreciate you guys. If you want to get a streak started tonight, link is in the description. I'd really appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Who do we still have here? Let's do a quick roll call, man. Who's still with us? Let's see. We got Elliot in the house. Gamer. I believe we still got Steph in here. What's up, Jay? Only 3 weeks into acceptance, and I've got my old personality back. Just battling nerves and panic again and the rumination symptoms in my chest. Thank you so much, Wonder Bro. Absolutely, Jay. Keep at it, dude. Keep at it. For example, for the past 3 months, thank you for that positivity. For the past 3 months, I've been telling myself how scary anxiety is and wondering why it's so intense, blah, blah, blah. Well, once I made that realization that I create that intensity, game changer. Yes, once you made the realization that that was your hand in the cookie jar, right? There you go. You can start working on it now. I find myself going less into the cookie jar. Real talk. It's tough breaking that habit. No bullshit, but doing my best. Luis, that is all you can do, man. Hold yourself accountable. Take the responsibility for your own recovery and work on it. Here's the thing. People want to gather information, but they're missing that really important component to the recovery, which is realizing that you have to play a part in your recovery, right? That's the problem. You do have to play a part in your recovery, which requires calling yourself out on a lot of BS, right? A lot of BS. Probably watched the point of the stream like 5 times. It takes me a while to click for me. Stubborn. Basically, worry is the equivalent of having your hand in the cookie jar, and you must take it out. You have to, and you have to continue repeatedly do that and continue to hold yourself accountable for that, right? You don't accept that you're ruminating. You have to break rumination, right? You accept the thoughts, feelings, life situations. You don't accept the bad habits. You actually have to work on those bad habits. And I can understand how people don't understand that and they get confused. Well, hopefully this stream has cleared that up for some people, right? All right, guys, I'm going to grab my water real quick. I'll be right back. If you've got any questions, now is the time to ask them. Thank you so much for all the support. You guys are awesome tonight, and I'll see you in just a second. about tripped and died over all these fucking wires on the floor. I'm really good at cable management too. Song slaps every time. What song are we talking about? The intro to Superbad? What's up, Donkey? All this talk about hands and cookie jars makes me want to have Oreos and milk. Wonder Bro's giving me a sweet tooth. Thank you for answering that question, Gamer. I appreciate it. Thank you for helping me out. If you're late to this stream, Foo Dog, and you're new to the channel, I highly recommend you watch the stream back. It'll answer a lot of your questions. I think you can actually start watching it back right now. Dude, my cable management is clean. I just left the vacuum cleaner in the floor. That's what I tripped over. Yo, Rick! Rick, you're the man, dude. Thank you so much for the support, guys. We're at 15 on the tip goal. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Let's see if we can start this streak over. We did lose our 24-day streak, but I feel like we'll pick it right back up. It's no big deal. The song that plays when I take a break, oh yeah, everybody loves that. I can't actually hear it on my end, so I've forgotten what it sounds like. It's just from the adrenaline rush you get when you work yourself up. If you know how the brain works and sends that stuff to your body, as long as you got a clean bill of health. Very common, though. Yeah, very common. Very, very common. I mean, everybody is a worrier to some extent, but the people who end up in the sensitized boat, they've taken it to an extreme. I think that's fair to say. I think that's safe to say. Thank you for the purple hearts, guys. If you're new here, purple hearts represent love and gratitude to our tippers. They really help keep this show on the road. Don't know what we'd do without them, so please spam those purple hearts anytime we get a tip in the chat. Would really appreciate it. Would really appreciate it. Oh, wait a minute. Guys, I got to show you something. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. We got a, which was very nice. I did not expect it, but we got... Someone sent me a gift off the Amazon wish list, which I even forgot existed for a long time. So it was very unexpected and just kind of out of the blue, out of nowhere. It's awesome. I've already got it hung up. It was a tapestry. I've already got it hung up. So I don't really, it took me forever to get that thing up there. I don't really want to jerk it off the wall to show you guys. So I'm just going to show you a picture of it instead. But thank you for that. Thank you for the gift. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. Yeah, I got that in the mail today. It's pretty big. I forgot the wish list even existed, so that was really a surprise. Thank you so much. I don't want to say their name. I don't know if they want me to say their name, but you know who you are. Thank you so much for that gift. I really appreciate it. Let's see. I'm going to scroll up a bit. Worry feelings, the worry/feelings, aka first fear, are going to be there, right? It's the worry and obsessing on top of it. We're trying to eliminate, right? Keeping the hands out of the cookie jar. So the feelings, yeah, you can't do anything about that. You can't do anything about random thoughts. You can't do anything about life situations. So the objective is to keep your hand out of the cookie jar. You can't control... Donkey, thank you so much, dude. Thank you. I'll read that in just a second, I promise. You can't control what comes in. You can only control whether or not you get into worry over it. So if a feeling's there and you start to think to yourself, oh, God, what does this mean? Or, oh, God, this is good. That's your hand in the cookie jar, and you need to correct that. You need to take your hand out of the cookie jar, stop fighting with it, say, and that's enough. Just calling yourself out on it is enough. You can leave it alone at that point. You can say, nope, we're not doing that. Keep your hand out of that cookie jar. That's enough. So, yeah, Elliot, you're right. You're right. How you doing tonight, Lick? Big Patty. Yes. Doing the shuffle. Thank you for the purple hearts, guys, man. I really appreciate it. Let me update that tip goal. That takes us to 20. Thank you so much, Donkey, man. I really appreciate the support. From your teachings, Wonder Bro, I have learned to accept the tip goal streak ending. Yes. Here's a tip now I'm going to be about my day. Yes, it happens sometimes. I think our record's like 200 and some days, and then our second best is like 24 days. It happens. It's not a big deal, you know. But I do appreciate it whenever we hit tip goal. It means a lot. I've thought about group Zoom calls. It's kind of in the works, so we'll see what happens, Jay. How important are proper breathing techniques? Every anxiety group I've been to, people always stress the importance of proper breathing. I never got into it. I'll be honest, I never got into it myself. Once I started to hold myself accountable for worry, everything else fell into place. Once I started to hold myself accountable for worry and live my life, the two keys, everything else seemed to fall into place. I never really got into proper breathing. I suppose as long as you're using those core skills, which is those two keys right there, living your life in the face of anxiety, showing your brain that everything is okay, and holding yourself accountable for your worry, as long as you've got those core skills and you're practicing working on those core skills, things like proper breathing and yoga and all these different things, that's up to you. I'm going to leave that part up to you, really. Carry on with that mini rant. Thank you, Donkey. Appreciate it. What's the difference between ruminating and having normal thinking as you return back to normal life? Ruminating is rooted in worry and negativity and problem solving. Normal thinking, daydreaming, using your brain to solve a problem that is right in front of you, right? That's something that you actually need to take care of. That's using your brain as a tool, whereas rumination is rooted in negativity, problem solving, and worrying about things that usually don't even exist right now, or things, what ifs, you know. It's rooted in some sort of negativity, right? Rich, welcome to the stream. Good evening. Rich, how you doing, Star Wars nerds? Yes, may the 4th be with you all. I'm doing well, thank you. Let's get something here. Actually, just to celebrate for all my nerds out there. Now, I've never watched Star Wars all the way through. There's not a single Star Wars movie that I've actually watched from beginning to end. I can say the same with Lord of the Rings. I know it is a sin, but that's okay. For all my Star Wars nerds out there, I respect you and I love you. Here you go. We'll put a little Darth Vader down there. There you go. I've been telling myself, shut the fuck up. Seems like when I say that sometimes that I'm fighting with what I'm feeling. Well, you're not fighting with what you're feeling. You're fighting with your own bad habit, and that is something that you need to fight, technically. I've said it before on the channel. The one time I'll give you a free pass on using the word fight is if you're telling me that you're fighting your bad habits and shutting down that rumination and worry. Just ask Mr. Sanchez. He's in the chat. Hello, Mr. Sanchez. He is now healed, recovered, and living his life. And you know what he told me? He told me I got there by saying fuck it. So every time he was worried, he shut it down and replaced it with fuck it. He wouldn't let himself worry anymore. He just kept shutting the worry down. Now, you can tell yourself whatever you want to tell yourself, but you're going to have to shut down that habit of worry and rumination. However you want to do that with whatever you want to tell yourself is fine. Some people prefer different sorts of approaches with that inner voice, whatever. Just telling yourself that you're doing it. Hey, wait a minute, man. You're up there doing that again. Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're going to drop that. Just that is enough, right? So it's up to you, technically, what you want your inner voice to be, your non-engagement sort of voice to be, holding yourself accountable. But yeah, there you go. You are going to have to fight the bad habit of rumination. That is the one time I will give you a free pass on using the word fight, right? That is the one time I'll give you a free pass on using the word fight. Because I know you said it just seems like a fight. Well, yeah, technically you're fighting your bad habit. But yeah, that's one thing you do want to fight, right? You don't fight the feelings. You can't do anything about them. You don't fight the coming and going thoughts. You can't do anything about them. You want to accept those. You want to embrace those. But as far as worrying about them and ruminating, that is you fighting. You want to fight your bad habit of fighting. That's one way to put it. You want to fight your bad habit of fighting. Wow, no Star Wars or Lord of the Rings? How is that even possible, dude? I get judged for it constantly, so I know, it's horrible. And the funny thing is, I think I would really enjoy those movies. I think I would really enjoy them. I really do. I don't know why I haven't sat down and watched them. It's just a huge undertaking, right? all the Star Wars movies, all the Lord of the Rings. That's a huge undertaking. Um, I'm with Wonder Bro. I've never gotten to Star Wars. I love Marvel and DC shit. Gotcha. I can't even agree there. I've not really. I've just not watched a whole lot of movies, period. Is it true that you don't have to believe that you can get better while telling yourself to stop the worry and eventually you just believe it? Well, it's you're shutting the worry down regardless, whether you believe you can get better or not, which you can. But whether you believe that or not, you're shutting down the worry, so you're going to give the nerves a break. So it's inevitable, regardless of your beliefs, right? It's inevitable if you really work on that worry habit. And the more you hear on the channel, the more you are learning the right things to believe in, right? So we're tackling that. Don't worry. Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. I knew that was a Yoda quote. Hey, I get some points there. You got to give me some points there. Got to shut it down. Got to shut it down. There are people who just aren't into that genre. See, I'm not into the superhero movies, to each his own. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just not into movies, period. I'd rather watch, like, documentaries or episodes. I feel like that's easier to digest. So maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm not into just movies all that much. So maybe it's just a me problem. Maybe it's just a me problem. You heard it from the man. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it like this, as long as you're tackling the problem, you're tackling the problem regardless of your irrational beliefs, right? Regardless of your irrational beliefs, you are tackling the problem. So your brain doesn't say, oh, he's shutting down the worry, but that doesn't count because he doesn't believe it, right? It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that. Continue to shut down the worry. Don't worry. It'll sink in. It'll sink in. No, you're not and you're not gonna feel necessarily good while you're doing it either, right? You're not necessarily gonna feel good. Steph is a trooper. We've been doing coaching recently, and she's really starting to catch on to the idea. I don't think she's here anymore, so we're gonna talk about her. I think she's really starting to catch on to the idea that you have to work on rumination, you have to work on worry, and because of that, she's really starting to excel. So. Talk to me when they make Fast and the Furious Day family first. Fast and the Furious Day. I've seen a few Fast and Furious movies, I will say that. We accept you just the way you are. Star Warless and all. Wonder Bro, I appreciate you. Oh, Steph's here. Everybody stop talking about Steph. Stop talking about Steph. Roadhouse is the best movie in history. Roadhouse, that sounds familiar, but that's another one I haven't seen. There's probably not going to be many movies that you guys could list in the chat that I'm going to be like, yeah, I've seen that one. I love that one. I just don't watch a whole lot of movies. Just right off the top of my head, see, I'm put in the spot here. I can't even think. Movies. Scarface is probably my favorite movie of all time. Let's see, Scarface. I like a lot of Tim Burton stuff. Big Fish is another one of my favorite movies, Tim Burton movie. Definitely, yeah, Scarface is a classic. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just don't watch a whole lot of movies. Steph is here. Steph is here. Everybody, calm down. Everybody, run. Because once the rumination is worked on, other things are able to come into your day, and the anxiety lessens, and the snowball effect is in play. You just gain that belief. I like it. I like the way you worded that. Patrick Swayze, yes. Let's see, Grease. I know that's hilarious, right? My favorite movies are Scarface and Grease. One is about a murderous, cocaine addicted drug lord, and the other is a musical. But I don't know, Scarface and Grease, some of my favorite movies. Harry Potter's another one I haven't seen, but I'd like to see. It came on cable the other night. I'm one of the few people that actually have cable. Came on cable the other night, and I watched a little bit of it. I don't know which one it was, but I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. And then I played the game recently, Hogwarts Legacy, and I was like, this is awesome. I would really like to sit down and watch Harry Potter, just never have. My accepting inner voices don't take the bait, accept, allow, and heal, and this will all be gone one day. Shit is still scary, and it sucks, but not engaging, yes. And I'm gonna say something that's probably gonna get me laughed at. Don't care. Scarface, Grease, and here it goes. I'm just gonna lay it on the line here. I love the movie The Notebook. I'm sorry. I know I don't look like a notebook person. I get it. I know it. I know I don't, right? But that's a good ass movie. I don't care what anyone says. That's a good fucking movie. The Notebook, I cried like a fucking baby. I really did. I cried several times through that movie, and I was like, that is so sweet. That is so sweet. That's such a sweet story. That is awesome. That is amazing. So yeah, that's one of my favorite movies. It's The Notebook. Judge me. Judge me. But you would like it too if you watched it. I promise. I promise. Nobody's seen that coming. Don't worry, David. Wait, you played Hogwarts without knowing the Harry Potter story? I knew enough about it, I guess you could say, to enjoy the game. Anyway, read the books. They're better than the movies. That will never happen. But I might watch the movies at some point. I still have a cable remote. Yeah, I still watch cable. Believe it or not. The Notebook is awesome, but don't tell my wife I said that. Right? I mean, come on, guys. It's good. It's good, man. It's just good. It's a good movie. It is a good movie. I don't care who you are. The story is great. It's a great love story. It's a good ass movie, all right? I got suckered into watching it by an ex girlfriend. I was like, The Notebook. How overrated. This is stupid. And then by the end of it, I was like, and this is a true story. I'm not just trying to make a joke. At the end of it, I was like, that was good. That was good. I need to go to the bathroom. And I cried. I cried. I cried. And then I stopped trying to hide it. I was like, that shit's got me fucked up. That was a good ass movie, though. It was a good ass movie, right? So, so back on the topic, it's okay that the worry is there, and you just have to catch yourself every time, right? I already kind of know this. Well, it's there, but then you shut it down, so you catch yourself when you're doing it. You catch yourself in the act. That's another way to put it. Catch yourself in the act. And guys, we're going to be shutting the stream down. Speaking of shutting worry down, we're going to be shutting the stream down in about 10 minutes. About 10 minutes. Grease is a good movie. I'm glad you guys like my movies because I don't have many movies that I've watched. So I'm glad you guys like them. Plane Trains, never heard of it. And Automobiles, hilarious. Is that? Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? That is a great movie. That is a great movie. Probably, yeah, that's a top 5 right there too. Top 5 for sure. I'm sure I'll think of more movies once the stream is over, but Team Notebook, yes. Yes. Hello, thank you. Thank you for saying that. Team Notebook. Is my favorite. It's one of my favorites too, Steph. I have watched that. I have watched that movie. Wait, did you say that before I even said that? Are we reading each other's minds here? I have watched that movie 50 times. I don't know. I used to have it on DVD and I would just play it all the time. What's up, Arnold? Was that Arnold? What's up, Arnold? AK Private? We got Private in the house? No way. No way. We got Private in the house? No fucking way. What's up, dude? I haven't seen you in forever. I'm here. I made it. Hello. Welcome. Glad you could make it. Yeah, so what do we got so far? Scarface, Grease, The Notebook, Oh Brother, and Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club. There we go. That's what it's been on the tip of my tongue the whole time. The Breakfast Club, also a classic. Such a good movie. They turned Pete into a horny toad. Oh God, they're so stupid. They are so stupid, and that's what makes the whole movie. You've got one guy who's pretty capable and intelligent, and then you've got the two others are just complete fucking idiots. Complete fucking idiots. But that is what makes it so good. What makes it so good, right? I'm from Down Under, guys. What's up, Robbie? How are you doing? Guys, if you're enjoying the stream, even though I know we're just hanging out chatting at this point, leave a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. If you'd like to contribute to the stream, link is in the description. We're going to be shutting it down here in just a bit. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We might keep going for a bit. I'm enjoying the small talk. I'm enjoying the small talk. Don't forget Dirty Dancing. I've actually never seen Dirty Dancing, I'll be honest. Talk wasn't that good, but I hope you're not mad. I have no hard feelings against anyone. Each day is a new day. No hard feelings. I don't walk around with holding it against anybody, right? It is what it is. Getting your Vegemite in today. How are you doing, Rich? Still with us? What's up, Rich? Breakfast Club Classics 80s movie. The Breakfast Club is it's classic. Absolute classic. Doesn't get any better. Big fan of horror movies too. All the Halloween movies. I love Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, all that good stuff. All that good stuff. Can't tip tonight because my PayPal got hacked, dude. I'm sorry about that. That sucks. No, it's not an obligation. You're good. You don't have to apologize. Is private? Yeah, that's private. Arnold? Yeah, it's private. Never seen that movie, Donkey. What's your favorite scary movie? Probably have to go with, I don't know. It's a close one, man, between the original Michael Myers films. Not that new shit that they just came out with. Those were fucking horrible, in my opinion. Just my opinion. It's a close one between the original OG Halloween films, Michael Myers, and the original OG Texas Chainsaw films. I can't decide. Been doing well listening to your channel. The other day I had a calcium score test on the heart. They found some plaque and need further testing, but amazingly I'm not that stressed out thanks to you guys. Probably butchered a few of those words, but anyway, congrats, dude. I'm glad you're applying this teaching with the worry and rumination, because that's going to serve you for the rest of your life, not just for anxiety purposes, but in real life situations like the one you just described. So bet you'd love Green Book. I've never even heard of Green Book. What's that about? Donkey Roadhouse had Jeff Healey. You should look him up on YouTube playing guitar with his teeth. Amazing. That sounds amazing. I have to look that up. Playing guitar with his teeth. Gran Torino. I think I've seen most of that. Bits and pieces of that. Enough for me to say I've pretty much seen it. Would I call Psycho a horror movie? I would call it more of a psychological thriller, in my opinion. I'll tell you, when it comes to horror, though, I like psychological stuff. I don't enjoy like gore porn. Basically, is what it is. When it's just a bloodbath, I don't think there's anything scary about that. I think it's just disgusting. But when you've got actual psychological horror, that once you finish the movie, you can't really. It's difficult for you to stop thinking about what you just saw because it's got you really freaked out. That's horror. But when you just put a bunch of people on screen that are getting brutally murdered and it's just blood and guts everywhere, that's just gore porn. I think it's stupid. I don't see the point in it. I'm like, that's literally just disgusting. There's nothing scary about that whatsoever. There's nothing scary about that whatsoever, which is a big reason why I didn't enjoy the new Texas Chainsaw on Netflix, the Netflix original. I was very excited for. It was just a gore porn, people getting chopped up, blah, blah, blah. There was no suspense. There was no real scary parts. There was no chase scenes, really. He was just butchering people left, right, and center. I don't think that's horror. I think it's just stomach churning. I'm like, well, what's the point of that? What is actually the point of that? Of course, you're going to have gore in horror movies, but if it's just a bloodbath and there's nothing scary about it, it's just gross. Like, what's the point? Have I seen Psycho? I really don't want to answer that because I feel like people are going to judge me, but no, I have not seen Psycho. At the end of the stream, can you explain the whole cookie jar shit again? Watch the stream. Watch the stream. Watch the stream. But yes, I will. Actually, I'll do it right now. So the cookie jar is the worry. And when you catch yourself worrying, that is your hand the cookie charge. So, for example, I'll give you an example right now. If you're sitting there thinking to yourself, man, I really need to understand this cookie jar analogy or else I'm screwed. You've got your hand in the cookie jar already. It's time to say, wait a minute, why are you worrying about that? No, drop that. Take your hand out of the cookie jar. Next time you put it back in, you got to take it back out, right? So that is basically, that is the cookie jar analogy. But no, actually, in all seriousness, yes. Rewatch the stream. It wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt. Carrie would be a psychological horror. I've seen bits and pieces of that. Jar analogy was great tonight, man. The beauty of this channel is telling the same thing in different ways. That's what I try to do. Yeah, that's what I try to do, to try to speak, try to get as many people understanding, what we're doing here as possible. I was just doing that. Yeah, so you were engaged in worry and rumination. That's your hand in the cookie jar. That's when you got to step in and say, hey, what are you doing? We're not doing that. So there you go. That's a perfect way. Did you see the new Scream movie? I have not. Was it any good? All right, give me just a second, guys. I am enjoying just this conversation, so I will be right back. All right. We're still talking about movies. Okay. Lassie. Never heard of Fast Times. Heard of Porky's. Haven't actually watched it all the way through. Watching one movie a week and giving us a review. Movie review Mondays. I don't know. I like how you say, oh, excuse me. Oh, God. I don't know where that came from. I like how you say, even if you have to do it a million times in 5 minutes. Absolutely. 16 Candles, haven't seen it. Animal House, haven't seen it. So many movies I haven't seen. But the ones that I do like are classics, right? They're good movies. In my defense, they're good movies. Blade Runner, haven't seen it. I have not seen Fast Times. Ridgemont High. Is it like a teenage comedy? That's what it sounds like. I've seen a lot of the American Pie movies. Does that count? They're good movies. They're funny. Does that count for anything? All right, guys. We're going to be winding this one down. Thank you guys so much for being here. A lot of good conversation tonight. But just to backtrack a little bit. Yeah, I know. I need to get caught up on the movies. I'm very much behind. Just backtrack a little bit. This was a very important, crucial stream when it comes to the fact that you have to be responsible for your own mental habits. So if you were late to the stream, or if you just want to watch it again, then I highly recommend it, because at some point you do have to take responsibility for those mental habits. Very quickly, I want to go over the names of all the supporters tonight. We got Donkey, we got Rick, and we got Luis. Thank you guys so much for your support. I really appreciate the tips tonight, guys. Thank you. Yeah, I think with that being said, check me out on TikTok, Vacate Fear. We're good here, I believe. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. I love you all very, very much. And until next time, as always, right there, stay awesome.